Hi, Paul Slackers, Good News Broadcast, speaking to Pete Bils again. Hi, Pete, how are you?
I'm doing great. Well slept as usual.
All righty. Well, that's very important for a gentleman who's the Vice President of Sleep Innovation and Clinical Research at Select Comfort. You know the importance of sleep, plus you're a guest lecturer at Northwestern Health Sciences University in Minneapolis. Well, why is sleep so important?
Well, sleep affects everything that we do. Sleep is one of those parts of our wellness and our being that is affected by all we do and affects all we do. And people don't understand the importance. It's not about looking or feeling better anymore. Sleep has now been linked to just about every significant health factor in our lives, whether it's our metabolism and weight problems, whether it's our cardiovascular health, or whether it's our immune system, the ability to fend off the cold or the flu. All are linked to the amount and the quality of sleep that we get. And we're in a pretty big epidemic when it comes to sleep in this country. We're not getting enough of it. The average American right now, adult, is getting about 6 hours and 40 minutes a night, and it should be closer to 7.5 to 8. And the sleep that we do get is of pretty poor quality. And so we need to get people to really prioritize sleep and learn how to sleep more and better.
I think people have learned a new word, sleep deprivation, right?
Sleep deprivation, oh, absolutely. In fact, it wasn't until the late 70s and early 80s that the word sleep apnea was ever used. That's one of the major sleep disorders now, and there's almost 90 of them identified as medically based problems.
Really?
But what's interesting about sleep, and you know, I've been doing research for the Sleep Number folks at Select Comfort for 15 years, and virtually all of the sleep problems, the vast majority of them, are self-imposed or self-inflicted. Most people create their own sleep issues, and what we try to do here in our labs and with our products is to solve those sleep issues and get people sleeping better.
Well, you know, one thing that's interesting, you know, I have the grandkids now, and it's so interesting to see that regenerative process. You know, a little baby gets a lot of sleep, an amazing amount of sleep, and they grow, right? So it's a strengthening of the body. It's a proven, and actually we did a series called The Brain many years ago, and we showed that the importance once again. How the brain ties in. Don't you lose like 1.5 liters of water also when you sleep?
Yeah, hydration is a big thing. In fact, one of the things we're really taking a close look at right now is the seasonality of sleep. And as we head into the summer, there's a lot of issues that keep people from getting a good night's sleep. And one of them you just mentioned, which is the hydration. We perspire a lot more during the summer. We're doing more during the day. We're outside more. And then at night, we're getting into bedrooms that are warmer and more humid, so we tend to perspire as well. And every once in a while you wake up in the middle of the night, you can't pinpoint, now why did I wake up? And we found that a lot of times it could be you're just dehydrated. Your body said, you know, you need to get something to drink. And so a lot of times people wander up and they get a glass of water, and that can be avoided by a couple things. One, drink about 6 to 8 ounces of water before you go to bed. Avoid alcohol and caffeine before you go to bed, because that does the opposite of it dehydrates you, and that can cause a problem later on in the night. So hydration is a very key factor year-round, but becomes a bigger problem during the summer months.
How about older people, though? Maybe not as much to drink before they go to bed, or do you still suggest the same?
Yeah, it depends on how active they are. And you know, you usually can gauge how much you've perspired during the day. If you're still active elderly, you're working, you're walking, you're gardening, you're doing all sorts of things, golfing, then you should still hydrate quite a bit. The other issues that we have in the summer, and this really derails people's sleep schedules, is the exposure to light and blue sky longer and later in the day, particularly close to our bedtime. For sleep to happen quickly and deeply, our body needs to produce a lot of the sleep hormone called melatonin. Right. Melatonin is the hormone that cascades in the whole process of sleep. And if you're outside or in bright light right near your bedtime, that totally shuts that off. And it will take quite a while for it to ramp up once you're in a dark bedroom for you to really fall asleep quickly and deeply. So I usually recommend about 45 minutes before you go to bed is to get into a dimly lit room, which is hard in the summer, but with blinds and curtains and so forth, you can make any room look like dusk, even though it's bright outside. And that will begin the sleep process. And then, of course, when you get into bed, make sure it's as dark as you possibly can. We
mentioned in that brain series that we did many years ago in the National Institute of Mental Health, we put there was a study to put grow lights in front of somebody who has a winter depressive, right? And those grow lights, the additional light, brought more melatonin into the body and into the brain. We did a PET scan to show it, and it's that same principle exactly of what you're saying. I think also, what do you think about just kind of calming down? I hear you. I mean, a little meditation, a little yoga, we do good news, and our desire is that somebody watches us at 11 before they go to bed, and they see a nice, happy, positive-minded story, as opposed to some of the more difficult situations in our existence. What do you think that does that affect people? Do you think?
No question about it. In fact, I saw one poll where approximately 60% of Americans lose sleep due to stress of some kind, and they don't know how to wind down at night. They go to bed and their mind's racing still, and a lot of it is because of they're distressed about something, or they saw something on the news that upset them. And you're right. That meditation, that routine to calm down before you go to bed is incredibly important. One of the best sleep tools I've ever seen is a to-do list, or what one of my colleagues in psychiatry calls the worry list. And about an hour before you go to bed, you jot down anything that could be bothering you and that could make you ruminate at night. So you write all those down, and then at bedtime, as you start to think about them, you've already written them down. You know what you're going to do about them. Or if you happen to wake up at 2 in the morning, you think about one of those, instead of say, oh no, what am I going to do? You already have a plan for it. And it's just a fascinating, simple tool. It could be on a Post-it note. It could be on your whiteboard. It could be on a piece of paper. Just clear your mind before you go to bed, and it's good. And then, as you said, do something calming. Read your best book. Watch something very enjoyable. Play with the kids. Just do something that puts you in a good mood.
Yeah, I think that to-do list is a great one, because so many people, I think, do get up and they start to write down notes, especially if they're under work and so on and so forth. So you're not going to get a good night's sleep, and that's not good news. You guys, Select Comfort, though, have innovations here with like beds breathing, with one side firm, one side soft. I think that's a marvelous innovation. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, what we have found, we've been talking about things in the bedroom that you have control over, the temperature, the lights, the sound. We just extended that with the Sleep Number products to the bed. You should be able to control variably the bed. If you like it cooler in the room, you put it cooler in the room. If you like it softer on your side of the bed, you should be able to make it softer on your side of the bed. And so with the Sleep Number bed, you can do that on either side. So two people sharing a bed can have exactly what they need. Again, it's just a logical extension of the more you have control over your sleeping environment, we know from our research, the better you're going to sleep. That extends also to the pillow. You have to have the right pillow to keep your head, neck, and shoulders aligned. And, of course, as you mentioned, the Sleep Number bed's adjustability and firmness. But then also we have designed and brought to market a whole set of bedding solutions for different things. For instance, we've been talking about temperature. We've investigated a fabric, a textile that was developed for NASA spacesuits to deal with temperature fluctuations during the night. We have now introduced beds and bedding accessories, whether they're pillowcases, mattress pads, blankets, and comforters, that have this textile in it called In Balance. Mm-hmm. And what it does is it detects high skin temperature and absorbs that heat and pulls it away from the body so you don't feel it anymore. You sleep comfortably, and then it minimizes the fluctuations. In fact, it's been so popular, we just introduced a set of pajamas with it, and we can't keep them in stock. They're just incredibly comfortable, and they really do a good job with people who have issues with temperature fluctuation.
Wow, that's wild. All right, Pete. Well, I will look forward to speaking with you again. Maybe we'll make some shows with you, because this is a very important subject that you're speaking about, and thank you for all these good, wise thoughts about it. Last question, what's good news for Pete?
Good news for Pete is that my daughters are ending the end of their school year. They're looking forward to the summer. We are too. Good vacations coming up. Lots and lots of good family time.
There you go. Great, Pete. Always a pleasure. Thanks.
My pleasure. Sleep well.